More breaking news here. A frightening situation unfolding on an LAX-bound flight from Nebraska. The pilots of the SkyWest flight turning around soon after takeoff because they thought someone was trying to force their way into the cockpit. Eyewitness News reporter Jory Rand live at LAX with what we've learned about what happened here. Jory.
Yeah, Mark, it's pretty wild to think about, but before 9/11, the door to the cockpit of commercial airplanes was unlocked. Flight attendants, or really anyone, could get inside the cockpit mid-flight. Had that been the case today and flight attendants had ingress, this wouldn't have been a story, but the door was locked, and when the pilots heard banging on the door and couldn't reach the flight attendants on the phone, their biggest concern at that point was that someone was trying to hijack their plane. Panic aboard a SkyWest flight to LAX.
Everybody's okay?
Yes.
We don't know what's going on, but we're okay.
This video from on board shows police cars on the tarmac at Omaha, Nebraska's Epley Field, and officers boarding the plane after Flight 6569 headed to LAX was forced to turn around and make an emergency landing. This flight tracker shows the plane turning back less than 40 miles into the 1,300-mile trip.
Captain here. Apologize for the return back to the airfield.
Here's what happened. Shortly after takeoff, the pilots lost control with their flight crew. The crew, unable to reach the pilots, were seen by passengers banging on the cockpit door. The pilots, hearing the banging on the door and silence on the phone, declared an emergency and returned to Omaha.
We weren't sure if something was going on with the airplanes. That's why we're coming back here. It's going to be a little bit, we're going to have to figure out what's going on.
The FAA releasing a statement that said in part after landing it was determined there was a problem with the interphone system and the flight crew was knocking on the cockpit door. So normally when a plane lands, it's already burned off much of its fuel. That didn't happen here because it had to land with so much fuel on board. They call it landing heavy, which means they couldn't just take right off again and head to LA. Technicians had to come on board, check the plane, clear them for takeoff, which did eventually happen. So more than 3 hours later on the ground in Omaha, Nebraska, the plane finally took off tonight around 10:45 Nebraska time. It's expected to land here at LAX shortly after midnight. Reporting live here at LAX, Jory Rand, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Jory Rand, thank you.